ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
We are ready to go. It's time for The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 for this Wednesday, January 8th. Our text line this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I'm giving you a chance to win some tickets. Coming up Saturday, the Herd in action. The weather's not coming. I'm just going to go ahead and put that statement out now. I am not a trained meteorologist, but I know the Herd's going to play James Madison tomorrow. And then Saturday, Georgia Southern, they're going to play that game. And so I've got tickets. I got a 4-pack of tickets to send you to that game on Saturday. So all you have to do is text the win. And you do that at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So good luck. And, we're going to also give away tickets tomorrow as well. So if you don't win today, don't worry. You've got another chance to win tomorrow. So we got a lot to get into today. Had a chance to head over to Marshall earlier today to talk to head coach Cornelius Jackson. So we're going to hear from him in just a few minutes. Also, Dezane Mingo will get his thoughts on the upcoming game and just the week that had transpired. And, of course, we'll hear from you. So we'll get that started here in a minute. We got the news earlier. It's official. We've got some coaches hired. And, again, it's official. This isn't just social media posts. I mean, we actually got a story, a release, everything. So the Thundering Herd starting to finally make its official staff known. First up. And, again, we knew this yesterday because social media postings, but Rod Smith is going to join the Herd. He's going to be the new offensive coordinator. And then, of course, you got Shannon Morrison coming back. He's going to be leading the defense. And then you've got former Herd quarterback Jackson White serving as a special teams coordinator. So Smith is exciting for me. Absolutely, Smith is exciting for me. We went over some of his stats yesterday, but I think we need to go over them again. Jacksonville State ranked number 12 nationally in scoring offense. And if you can get that kind of production for Marshall, I'm excited. They average 36 points a game. I would love the Herd to average 36 or more points a game. I would be all for it. The running attack was excellent. 51 touchdowns. That was the best in FBS. And 251.2 yards per game on the ground. That was best, almost best. Third, still, it's one of the best. Third best in FBS. And they were a top 20 team in FBS in total offense. 441.6 yards per game to be in the top 20. Those are some big numbers. And again, yes, it is Jacksonville State. Yes, it is Conference USA, but that's a league Marshall used to play in. At the same time, if he can replicate that kind of success or that level of production in the Sun Belt, it's going to be fun. This is going to be a fun season. So I'm optimistic. I know we did a temperature check yesterday, and we'll keep doing that. How do you feel going into the 2025 season? Where are you at right now as of today with Marshall football? But I'm optimistic and excited just because we know that he has been able to get things done. As a offensive coordinator and as a quarterback coach, I'm excited. And of course, he's been under Rich Rodriguez for several years. There's a good relationship there. Love him or hate him, Rich Rodriguez, he's successful where he goes. He has been successful. He usually leaves a place better than when he found it. Give him credit. He's done a lot of good things. And I think that we have seen over the years, when he has left a place, not necessarily have them be able to replicate the success he found. So, winning a conference championship is always tough, and doing so at Jacksonville State, that was something that I think that he could be proud of. And hopefully he comes to Marshall and he can replicate that success. I would love to be talking about the back-to-back Sun Belt champions. Absolutely. And I would like to see Marshall play Southern Miss in the championship game here at Jones C. Edwards Stadium. Okay, that's just a pipe dream of mine. That's a wishful thought. That's what I want to see. I want to see that because I know Jones C. Edwards Stadium would be sold out. No doubt in my mind. I would be disappointed if that was the case. Marshall is playing Southern Miss for the championship. It was at Jones C. Edwards Stadium, and it wasn't sold out. At that point, I'd have to start questioning people. But this is a good hire, I think, for the Thundering Herd. And then, of course, you bring Shannon Morrison back. It's like he never left. He knows what success looks like. He knows what successful players look like. He's coached successful players. He brings understanding of what Marshall's about with him. He brings understanding of the community. He brings a long list of accomplishments with him. He knows how to win a championship. He's won a championship at Marshall. 1992, Marshall's first ever FCS national championship. He was here at Marshall, 1991 and 93. Those were runner-up years. The Thundering Herd, I think, did a good thing, bringing Shannon Morrison back. So I'm glad he's back. And so he brings an understanding of what the Thundering Herd is all about, what this team is all about. And you like the guy. That helps. He's been around. He's been in the battles for a long time. And he's gone elsewhere, and he's been successful. And then you bring a guy in who has history with the Herd. You bring in Jackson White. He's been at NC State for several years. He was their special teams quality control analyst. And he has a great relationship with Tony Gibson, worked closely with him over the years. And of course, he has some accomplishments of his own. You have Christopher Dunn, who is an All-American and Lou Groza Award winner, helped him. And Joe Shimko, he won the 2023 Patrick Manley Award. It's given to the nation's best long snapper. And so he's got an understanding at what it takes to develop that position, those position players. And so he's a guy, he served as a reserve quarterback with Marshall. You remember back in 2016, all the way up to 2019. And he was also a holder and what they call an operations specialist for Marshall special teams. He was hanging out with, of course, you know the name, guy like Justin Rohrwasser. Justin did some good things. And so he has an understanding of what high caliber looks like. He has an understanding of what Marshall is about. He's coming back to Marshall. Also, prior to NC State, coached defensive backs at South Carolina. He has experience. And so he comes in and he brings continuity. The Marshall guy, he's coming back to coach Marshall. He's been elsewhere. He comes back. I feel good. I feel good about the hires. And again, they're undefeated right now. Of course I feel good about it. I acknowledge that point right away. Of course I feel good about it. They're undefeated. They haven't lost a game yet. Best coaching staff ever. Undefeated. Obviously that changes when we get into season. We'll see what this team is going to be about. So I'm optimistic. I'm excited for football. Am I placing my optimism a little too high? Is it just right? Where am I at optimizing this feeling of mine here? Am I putting too much into this right now? I mean, they haven't even taken a snap yet. They haven't practiced. We haven't had spring ball. But I feel good about it so far. We're going to give you a chance to win tickets. That, of course, is our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I've got some comments from Coach Jackson. Had a chance to hang out with him a little bit today over at the Cam Henderson Center. We'll hear a little bit from Dezane Mingo as well. And we've got the text line loading up. We're going to get to your comments when we continue on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
You've cut back on everything and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In Huntington, John Garden, 304-525-1116. And in Barbersville, Marcia Slater, 304-736-6100.
Hey, Tri-State. Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you're a sports fan, we have what you want. From the biggest game in professional football, NBA, NCAA basketball, and the NHL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away away from home.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti. All dinners served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude,
How's the temperature?
it's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
What's up?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay, Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Our text to win this hour is for a 4-pack of tickets to go see the Herd on Saturday. Ticket on Georgia Southern. All you have to do is text in to win. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Going to be a tough one. Texter says that as well. Texter says, Paul, tomorrow night's going to be a little bit more of a challenge, but Saturday looks like a winnable game. I hope they're both winnable. You talk about JMU, and you have to remember that this is a team that is 7-2 against Marshall and 4-1 against Marshall as Sun Belt foes. And there's 3 straight wins we got to talk about as well. So JMU has owned Marshall for a little while. Teams met in the quarterfinals of the Sun Belt Championship. JMU took a 81-64 victory against the Herd. I mean, we got to go back a couple of years as well. I mean, the Thundering Herd just had some challenges against JMU. They're a good team. And they're 3-1 against Marshall in Huntington. The only time Marshall beat them in Huntington, we got to go all the way back to December 7th to be exact. December 7th, 2010. That was a 67-63 victory for the Thundering Herd. So Marshall's had troubles with JMU. But this is a team that poses a lot of challenges for Marshall. But at the same time, I think Marshall might have an opportunity. It's going to be tough. JMU comes into this game, 3-game win streak. They beat Midway out of Kentucky. That was an easy one, 96-64. That's a tune-up into the conference. And they beat Southern Miss 83-72, and then they beat Arkansas State 67-62. Out of conference, they have wins over Ohio. Mary Baldwin also wins over ETSU, Utah Valley. They are 9-6, 2-1 in the league. Preston Spradling, he is, in his career, 149 and 115. So he's been there a while. He knows how to win. They're a competitive team. And if you look at where they succeed over the Thundering Herd, is their scoring defense is a little bit better. Their scoring margin's a little bit better. Their rebound margin is much better than the Thundering Herd. They're better at making field goals. They're better at making three-point shots. Their free throw percentage is better than the Herd. They're not much better, but they're on equal footing with Marshall as far as assists are concerned. And they have really talented guards. Mark Freeman, he is averaging 12 a contest. He's number 0 for you watching the game tomorrow at the Henderson Center. Number 1 is Xavier Brown. He's averaging 12.3 a contest. And then their leading scorer is Bryce Lindsey. He comes off the bench, and he's averaging 13 points a contest. So they got really good guard play. And so Marshall's going to have to worry about that. Marshall's going to have to, of course, worry about its woes. But Coach Jackson earlier today, he's positive about this. He said that they was looking forward to getting to this game, and the fact that this team has been in a lot of contests, and the Herd's been really close.
Looking forward to, JMU. We lost a tough one versus Troy. I didn't know until last night that I guess we led all but 22 seconds of the game. 3 minutes, but then it was tied, so they led the last 22 seconds. So we're really close. And again, looking forward to protecting home court tomorrow versus JMU.
I'm excited for it. Should be a fun one. Hopefully the roads will be a lot better than they are. They've been getting better, so that shouldn't be a problem. I hope, at least. If it is for you, we got you covered right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Also on 93.7 The Dog, at least for a little while. We're going to have the National Championship semifinals tomorrow. So once we do the show tomorrow from the Henderson Center, I want everyone to switch over if you want to follow the basketball game over on 93.7 The Dog. And then, of course, we're going to have you covered with the National Championship semifinals. We got exciting games, Penn State and Notre Dame, Ohio State, Texas, all of that coming up tomorrow. So stay tuned for the show tomorrow. And then you can either listen to the Marshall game on 93.7 The Dog, or you can listen to the college football playoff semifinals and those games right here, and the championship on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So Marshall in a tough one, losing to Troy. Close game. The Herd led almost the entire time. What's the focus been this week as the Herd's trying to get past that and look ahead to James Madison?
You know what? We've been just concentrating on the details of offensive and defensive rebounding. JMU, they're another team who likes to get out in transition, so we've been working on transition. But our thing is right now is consistency. We'll some games we shoot the ball really well, and then some games we'll go 3 for 16 like we did against Troy. But the encouraging thing is that game was in the 50s, and I felt we should have won the game. So that's telling me as a coach that we can score in the 50s, we can score in the 80s, and still win ball games. So that's encouraging.
I would hope the Herd can run it up a little bit more. I like the fact, though, that they can compete in low-scoring games. I'd just like the Herd to run it up a little bit more. And I don't want to be in late-game situations. But Coach talked a little bit about that. The Herd's been in some of those situations, and Marshall's been close. There have been a few times where Marshall could have turned the tables on the other team and won the game. And Coach understands that's something that they got to get better at.
We have been getting, this last game, we've been getting the pocket pass, right? And they made an adjustment that last play and put a guard on Nate. And again, Nate was still wide open on the backside. Zane just didn't recognize it. He thought he had got doubled. After watching the film, they made a mistake. He wasn't supposed to be doubled. He got doubled, and he just kind of put his head down trying to beat the double. But our plan was to go at Nate in the pocket. Either he have a shot at the rim or he can dish to Obina, because we've been getting that. We have been getting it all night.
Yeah, and that's Coach talking about that late game situation toward the end of the Troy game. Now, One thing that Coach talked about, he was asked about this, and kind of expanded on it a little bit. Marshall's been in almost every game, and you have a small margin for error. And so the bad news is Marshall hasn't been able to capitalize on some of those close games. But the good news is Marshall has really been in most games. And so Coach talked a little bit more about that as well.
Yeah, we're right there. We just have to be better. Our execution, I have to be better as a coach. Maybe explaining, I should have probably explained each step. Hey, look, if they do this, do this. If they don't, do. So we'll be better. Again, the encouraging thing is we didn't shoot the ball great, and we were still in the game. And I believe we won the rebounding margin versus these last three opponents, I believe. Elon was top 10 in the country. Troy was top 10 in the country in rebounding as well. I believe we won all three on the board. So, again, that's encouraging. That shows that the guys are battling, they're fighting. We just have to clean up some minor details right there at the end.
Coach Jackson breaking it down as the Thundering Herd getting set for JMU. Now, same thing was asked of Dzane Mingo about those late game situations. And those have been some games that could have been won. And he shared his thoughts a little bit on that earlier as well.
I feel like Mike D is one of the best shooters in the league, and he had a pretty wide open shot. I know he sat for a while, but we believe in him to shoot that at any time of the game. We missed a couple rebounds and a tough offensive rebound foul call on us. So just the way the wind blows sometimes, but we believe in everyone that takes those shots at the end of those games, and yeah. We just hope it goes better next time.
Yeah, he's just being positive about that, and I'm with him as well. We're going to hear a little bit more from him later on, and we're going to hear a little bit more from Coach Jackson on JMU, kind of give you a short preview of what we can expect tomorrow between Marshall and JMU. And our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Our text to win today, we're going to give you a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to go see the Herd take on Georgia Southern Saturday. And if you don't win today, I've got another chance for you tomorrow. So keep listening right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
Buddy's All-American Barbecue is now in Milton. Enjoy all your favorite Buddy's classics like pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more on East Main Street in Milton. Buddy's All-American Barbecue, the home of great barbecue, ice-cold beer, and killer wings in Huntington and now in Milton.
Our Kindred Communications family of stations reminds you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
Chapman's Mortuary and Crematory, Huntington's only on-site crematory, 2851 3rd Avenue, Huntington. Chapmans-mortuary.com. Bird's Pet Center, your one-stop pet store, 480 Russell Plaza Drive, Ashland, Kentucky. Mark Porter Auto Group, home of the Car Ferry. Online at markporterautogroup.com.
Hey, Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you're a sports fan, we have what you want. From the biggest game in professional football, NBA, NCAA basketball, and the NHL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the Tri-State. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
Sup?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think you would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The Forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
Our text line this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Welcome back to this Wednesday edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We're getting you set for Marshall and JMU. That's coming up tomorrow from the Cam Henderson Center. We're going to have that game for you on 93.7 The Dog. I'll be broadcasting live from the Henderson Center ahead of the game, so you can join me here tomorrow, 5:06. And then we're going to have the college football playoff semifinals as Penn State will face off against Notre Dame, and Ohio State versus Texas. All of that's coming up tomorrow right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Back to our text line, 304-396-TALK. Texter says, Paul, my kids, all under 10, don't know the history of Marshall's conference affiliations. Most of their experience involves us losing to JMU in several sports. When I ask them who they hate in the Sun Belt, JMU is the first team that comes to mind for them. Go Herd. Absolutely. If you were just going to narrow it down, like, okay, which team, when you look at the league schedule and you go, okay, you can only go to one, but it's got to be the team you hate the most. I'll take you to one of them, but it's got to be that game. A lot of people are going to say JMU. A lot of newer Herd fans are going to say JMU. Now, for me, believe it or not, I go back to the Southern Conference days. And so for me growing up, there was a lot of losing for a long time. So you grew to equally hate all those teams, but for me, Marshall and the Sun Belt, I'm excited when Marshall plays Appalachian State because I remember those days. I remember Appalachian State just being that team. And then Georgia Southern, which was a newer addition to the Southern Conference, but Marshall and Georgia Southern really hit it off well early on. And so anytime Marshall can beat Georgia Southern, I'm all for it. And plus, those guys beat Marshall in football not so recently, right? Just a few weeks ago, right? Yeah, so I definitely circle those two. But JMU, they're growing on me as the team to really root against. And Marshall needs that. Marshall needs teams to really root against. And you're going to see this team, not only will Marshall play JMU on the 9th, but then a few days later, they're going to play them on the 16th, and they're going to be at their place. Absolutely going to be a stretch in which I hope the Herd really gets after JMU. And it should be a good game, both nights. I just hope the Herd's ready for JMU. They've got some talented players. They play at a slow pace, at least if you look at the metrics. Now, I'm trying to get away from just looking at the metrics. I mean, do you really care that JMU's in 130 on the net? Do you care as a net? Because I was asked that the other day. It's like, I don't know, Paul, if people really care about things like the net. Well, JMU's got a net at 130. Does that matter to you? They're a pretty good team. And Marshall's net's 226. Are these proper analytics? Do these numbers really help you gauge? And another thing about JMU is they are one of the teams that analytically wise, they're toward the bottom as far as pace of play. They pretty much hang on to the ball. And I think that's something that if you look at just the numbers, you're like, okay, it's going to be a slow, low-scoring game, right? Because this team really doesn't push the pace. But according to Coach Jackson, about that slow pace, not necessarily do the analytics really tell the entire story about JMU.
Well, that's one of those deals where the numbers can fool you some, because they get out in transition. Both of their guards, really push the pace in transition. Now, in the half court, they run some pretty good sets, but they're trying to score, and they're trying to score fast before they have to set up. So, again, we're going to treat it normal. We've been working on transition transition defense the last few days. We have to get back, build a wall, and then we'll worry about guarding them in the half court then.
So analytics not necessarily going to be the total story here for JMU. And as we mentioned, they've got some really good guard production. Mark Freeman, Xavier Brown, their starters are averaging over 12 points a contest. And then Bryce Lindsey comes off the bench, and he is their leading scorer. He has 13 points a contest. So guard production is going to be a big factor for JMU tomorrow.
Yeah, their guards are really, really good. You know, they have the one kid coming off the bench. He kind of reminds you of a Steph Curry. You know, he can really shoot the basketball. He's hunting threes. They have Freeman, a point guard. He's an older guy. He's 1,500 points in college. And then they have Xavier Brown back from last year, who really didn't look to score last year, but this year he's looking to score way more. And he's making shots and doing things that we didn't know that he can do last year. So, again, we still have to get back. We have to play team defense. We have to pressure those guys when they have the ball. But the main thing, they run a lot of sets for their guards trying to get downhill. So, you know, on defense, we can't relax. You know, we have to always be on the edge, always be alert, and don't let those guys get a two-step head start on them.
Dezane Mingo had some similar thoughts on that guard play and what we can expect from them tomorrow.
Yeah, they have really tough guards that are willing to score, quick, smaller guys. Just being physical with them, hitting them first, making them feel uncomfortable because they're pretty good guards. They have a couple big guys. We know that they're good at rebounding, so we're going to make sure we hit them first and continue to show the league that we're one of the best rebounding teams in the league.
That's Dezane Mingo. Now, as we mentioned earlier, Preston Spradling's been around for a long time. 149 wins, 115 losses. First year at James Madison, he is 9-6. And for those of you that know Preston Spradling well, he's done a lot of good things in his coaching career. And he's also another reason why you should get into this rivalry, because of the fact that if you go and look at some of Marshall's more historic rivalries, Morehead State comes to mind, right? Spradling from Morehead State to JMU. I mean, that's a recipe for a rivalry right there. I mean, the Eagles got to their second NCAA appearance in 4 seasons during the 23-24 campaign. Morehead State, 22 or more wins in all 4 seasons. He went 94-40 overall. 58-16 in league games in the Ohio Valley Conference. And so he's been around a while. Marshall fans should know him. He knows Marshall, and he's been very successful. So that's another piece of the puzzle here that I think makes this an exciting game, because you've got a team that Marshall fans are growing to hate. You have a coach that has experience, knows Marshall, won't be a stranger to the Thundering Herd. And so there should be some familiarity. You kind of know a little bit more about JMU, and you're going to see this team 2 out of the next 3 games. You're going to know everything you possibly need to know about Morehead State. And so that was a question that was asked of Coach, not specifically about Preston Spradling, but just the fact that you're going to see James Madison in such a short span. Are there any benefits, or what are the challenges of playing JMU almost back to back?
Well, you know what, the benefits are, we'll be familiar with each other. You know, that's pretty encouraging. You know, in terms of scouting reports, right? The assistant coaches, they'll do that. I believe Mark has JMU. So on his end, you know, he's just seen them, so it's not a new team starting over. But scouting reports take a while. You know, the outside world may not know how long it takes to prepare for a team, but it's at least a week to prepare for them just on paper and watching films. He's probably watched 7 games. I'm on number 5 today, and I'll go watch some more tonight at home. So again, it takes a while. The benefits are we'll be familiar with each other. That's just kind of how the schedule fell. I learned a long time ago, you worry about things you can control and not to worry about things you can't.
Coach Jackson, we'll hear more from him tomorrow as the Thundering Herd getting set to take on James Madison. Text line 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says that they were impressed with Coach Spradling when he was at Morehead State last year as he won the OVC there, and was also impressed with his teams in recruiting. Also, Texter says, Paul, I'm optimistic with the football team next year, but still concerned about the quarterback situation, because if the starter goes down, we need a capable backup to take his place, and as of now, it appears we don't have that. I remember when Chad Pennington came in, and he was the 3rd-string quarterback when the other 2 ahead of him got injured. Hopefully we have a Chad Pennington waiting in the wings that can take over I'd like to have 3 or 4 Chad Penningtons. I'm optimistic, and again, maybe it's misplaced right now, but I know with the transfer portal, if you play your cards right, there's going to be quality starting caliber quarterbacks that'll be available in the portal right after spring. When that transfer portal opens back up, you can go shopping for a quarterback. You need a quarterback, you can hit the portal. You want to add some depth to your quarterback lineup, have a little bit more of a competitive competition for that starting job, you can go to the transfer portal. Great text. I appreciate it. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Paul, I can't go to the game tomorrow, but I'm going to be listening on the radio to Mark and company. Look forward to getting these 2 home wins this week to get back on track. Go Herd. Yeah, I'm hoping the Herd can turn things around. I think they have been in enough situations where they should recognize what a close game looks like, and they should be a little bit more adept now at what to do, what not to do. It's early on. Nobody's running away with this league right now. So I think the Herd has a strong opportunity here. JMU, I think they're going to be a tough challenge. If Marshall splits, I don't know if I'll be all right with that, but I'm not going to be surprised if Marshall can take both games. That's going to be even better for the Thundering Herd. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Paul, JMU plays handsy-in-your-face basketball. That's good. Good for Marshall. I'll win it on the line. Absolutely. Appreciate the text. You want to send me to the line? I'm good. If you want to just foul me, hit my free throws, I'll walk away at the win. I'm good with that as well. A lot of good texts coming in today. Let's keep that up. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I appreciate everyone joining us today on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavalette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road. Equal housing lender, member NCUA.
Hey, Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you're a sports fan, we have what you want. From the biggest game in professional football, NBA, NCAA basketball, and the NHL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the Tri-State. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kitty Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea, and happy 50th.
New year, new you, and a fresh start for your car, too. Let's leave the grime of 2024 behind and roll into 2025 with a spotless shine, thanks to Thoroughbred Express. Our unlimited membership means you can keep your ride sparkling all year long, no matter what winter throws your way. Enjoy premium amenities, top-notch service, and the clean car you deserve. Start your new year off with Thoroughbred Express, where we make clean easy. Visit us today and drive into 2025 in style. Head to thoroughbredexpress.com.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavalette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, A full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road.
Equal housing lender, member NCUA. You've cut back on everything and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In Huntington, Jeff Smith, 304-781-1234. And in Wayne, Vicky Tabor, 304-272-5149.
Lawrence County Developmental Disabilities provides vital services for individuals with special needs and their families, offering care and peace of mind every step of the way.
And it's just an amazing service that Lawrence County has. And we're lucky that we have it, and people struggle, and they need services like this.
Learn more about the difference Lawrence County Developmental Disabilities makes for our community at lawrencecountydd.org.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Let's get back to the text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Paul, I am delighted at the return of Shannon Morrison. I'm starting to feel better about all of this. I wonder if we could get Melvin Cunningham to come and coach the defensive backs. I'd be okay with that. He knows a few things, right? Great text. I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel good. And again, with Shannon, he comes in, he understands. He gets it. He knows. He's not just somebody looking to, unfortunately, come to Marshall, make a name for himself, and then, I'm out of here. I think he's going to come in and he's going to be committed. Now, of course, if there is an opportunity for him later on that's going to improve himself, and maybe he can come back one day, even in a better position, I'm all for it. But right now, he's coming back. It's almost like he never left, and I'm glad he's coming back. And so I feel good about him being part of the Thundering Herd once again. I mean, he's never not been, use a double negative there, he's never not been a part of the Thundering Herd, but he's now on staff again. I'm good with that. Also from the text line, texter says, Paul, Nate Martin looked much better against Troy, but it would be ideal if he averaged about a double-double. Right now, Nate is I'm looking at his numbers right now. So Nate is averaging a little over 25 minutes. His field goal percentage is a little over 500, barely. He has a .333, to be specific, three-point shot percentage, 33%. 2 of 6. Remember, he's a three-point threat now. Field goals could be a little bit better, but it's above 500. Free throws, 33 and 62. He's 53% there. Rebounds, and this is where we need to see him be a little bit more aggressive, I think. Right now, he has a rebounding average of 7.7, and he's averaging 9.7 points per game. He is the 4th highest scorer on the team by average. Now, Dezane Mingo is averaging 11 points a contest, and by average, he's the 3rd leading scorer, but Nate actually has one more game on him. Actually, he has got 2 more games on him. Nate has played and started in all 16 games. Dezane Mingo has played in 14 games and started 13. And only 1 point separates him as far as total points. But Mingo's played in a couple fewer games. He's averaging a little bit more, 11 points a contest there. I agree with you, though. Mr. Martin needs to be a double-double machine. That's what I want to see with him because of the fact that he is a leader on this team. He's experienced. He's a presence on the floor. And when he's on, he's going to be tough to beat. When he's not on, it's noticeable. That's a big, big problem. When he's not noticeable, when he's not a factor in the game, somebody else is going to have to step up, and I'm okay for that, but I still want to see Nate get a few more touches, but Nate's got to get to the rim. I saw him in practice today. He looked good. That's practice. There were a couple of times he went to the rim, and I'm like, yes, do that more. I vocally said that. Hopefully Coach didn't hear me. I wasn't trying to tell him what to do, but it's like Nate needs to go to the rim a little bit more. So I'm with you there on that. Texture says, Paul, this is a football text. Paul, I'm pretty excited for a home matchup versus Missouri State this coming football season. It's something different. I agree. Nothing wrong with having a new opponent, a team that you've never seen before, a place that you don't know that much about. Thundering Herd, of course, still trying to get Pitt to come in, and we haven't touched on that subject, and we will closer to hopefully when there's a resolution. But just to recap what's going on there. Marshall wants the home game or the buyout. Going back to the COVID game that didn't get played. Marshall wants the home game or the buyout. And so hopefully the Herd can get some resolution there. I'd like to see Pitt come into Huntington. I don't know how many more of these so-called Power 4 schools we're going to see make road trips here in the future. So Marshall's pushing, hey, give me the money, or show me the money, show me the home game. That's probably the better way to put it. But I'm with you. I like seeing different opponents. I mean, that's one thing I did like when Marshall was 1AA. Yeah, there were a lot of opponents Marshall was playing that I really didn't know that much about, and it was kind of cool. And now you get into Division I football, and there are some matchups maybe out there that maybe Marshall hasn't played just yet. I'm kind of curious, is there a dream matchup? Is there a matchup that you would like to see Marshall play that you've never seen before? That's probably a future question. But is there one of those matchups where Marshall just hasn't played this school yet, and so you would like to see that matchup? Doesn't matter. It could be Group of 5, Power 5. It doesn't matter. Is there that matchup that would be cool? Like Notre Dame, for example. That was cool. Marshall even won that game. That was cool. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That is our text line. We're going to open that back up for you tomorrow as we are at the threshold of being done. You hear that music, that means I got to get out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, if you don't win the tickets today, and I'll be texting the winner here in a moment, you will have another chance at it tomorrow. I'm going to be over at the Henderson Center tomorrow for the show. We're going to have basketball action on 93.7 The Dog as the Herd getting set to take on James Madison. Looking forward to seeing you all there. And, of course, we're going to give you another chance tomorrow to win some tickets to go see the Herd on Saturday. Take on Georgia Southern. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'll be with you tomorrow. Until then, you can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Paul Swann. I'm also on Blue Sky there at Paul Swann. So you can find all my links on my bio page. I got one of those links on the X profile, so if you're on X and you want to find me on some of the other social media sites, that's probably the best place to go. Have a great night, everyone, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Broadcasting from the Dave & Buster's studios. Eat, drink, play, and watch at Dave & Buster's in the Huntington Mall. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. WRBC, W231 BS Huntington.